My name is Patrick Torino, and I'm a proud resident of Astoria, Queens, New York. From the earliest age I can remember, I knew deep down that I was gay. I have a vivid memory of a photograph, still tucked away in my mother's scrapbook, that perfectly encapsulates this. In the picture, I'm striking a pose, and everyone always asks, "Oh, were you flexing your muscles?" My response is always the same. No, I was channeling Wonder Woman, carrying her lasso of truth. Even then, my true self was trying to shine through. My journey of self-discovery truly began during my graduate school years at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, RPI. Away from the familiar constraints of home, I started to allow those long-suppressed feelings and thoughts to surface. I began exploring the local gay scene, venturing out to gay clubs in the area. This also became my gateway to connecting with the vibrant and talented community of LGBTQ+ individuals involved in theater in the capital region. It was an exhilarating time, a period of awakening and exploration. After graduating from RPI, life threw me a curveball. The job market wasn't as receptive as I had hoped, and I found myself back in my childhood home on Long Island, a place where I felt I had to dim my light, to retreat back into the shadows. It was a difficult period, a step backward into my journey of self-acceptance. But fate, or perhaps my own inner drive, intervened. An opportunity arose for me to pursue a master's degree in education at Hofstra University. This led to a position as a resident hall director, which finally allowed me to move out of my parents' house and live on campus. It was a taste of independence, a chance to breathe freely again. Tragedy struck during my time at Hofstra. My father was diagnosed with cancer, and his illness progressed rapidly. He passed away just as I was preparing to graduate. Amidst the profound grief and upheaval, I knew it was time to be honest with my mother. I decided to tell her that I was gay, believing, perhaps naively, that nothing could be worse than the loss of her husband. Her reaction, however, was devastating. She perceived my coming out as another loss, another blow, and she cut me out of her life. The pain was immense, a deep wound that echoed the loss of my father. Despite the rejection, I knew I couldn't go back. I had taken a step forward, and I couldn't retreat. I was determined to live authentically, to be true to myself. Once I made the conscious decision to live as an openly gay man, I felt a strong need for all facets of my life to be equally represented, to be integrated into my whole self. I started working as a teacher, and as the Christmas holidays approached that year, the reality of my estrangement from my mother weighed heavily on me. Christmas was a significant event in our Italian family, a time of togetherness and tradition. The thought of spending it apart from my mother was unbearable. I reached out to her, initiating a difficult but necessary conversation. I told her, "Mom, this can't continue. The truth is I'm still gay, and that's not going to change. That's a part of who I am. But this distance between us, this silence, it's too much." She reluctantly agreed to reconcile, though it was initially awkward and strained. Over time, as I began dating, I introduced her to the people I was seeing. She was welcoming, though not overly enthusiastic, but she was making an effort. It was a slow process, a gradual rebuilding of our relationship. While I was at Hofstra, completing my degree, I continued to explore the gay community. I went out, I met people, I experienced the nightlife. But something was missing. While I enjoyed the social aspect, I felt a disconnect, a sense that I wasn't fully connecting with the scene. It felt superficial, focused solely on the nightlife, and I yearned for something deeper, something more meaningful. A chance encounter in the school copy room changed the course of my life. I struck up a conversation with a new teacher, the chorus instructor. Our shared passion for theater and music quickly forged a bond. She invited me to see a show I was performing on Long Island, quite a distance from our school. To my surprise and delight, she and her husband came to the performance. We became fast friends, our connection growing stronger over time. My friend, the chorus teacher, also served as the minister of music at a church in Brooklyn. She had a knack for recruiting people to her church, always emphasizing its welcoming and affirming nature. I was initially hesitant, but a few years later, when she and her husband had twins, they honored me by asking me to be the godfather. This required me to attend a christening at their church, an event that unexpectedly became a turning point in my life. During the christening, I met members of the congregation. I realized that this wasn't just a gay church, as I had initially assumed. It was a diverse and inclusive community, comprised of people from all walks of life, including gay individuals, couples, and families, but not exclusively. The sermon that day was delivered by a black lesbian, and she had a remarkable ability to connect with everyone in the room, regardless of their background or sexual orientation. I was deeply moved by her message and the welcoming atmosphere of the church. I felt a pull, a sense of belonging that I hadn't experienced in a long time. I started attending services regularly, initially joining the choir. I eventually became a member of the church, and my involvement deepened over time. I was asked to serve as an elder and later as the clerk of session, the governing body of the church. This experience provided me with a deeper sense of community, a place where my queerness resonated within a broader context. It was a place where I could be my whole self, without having to compartmentalize or hide any part of my identity. My journey has been one of self-discovery, acceptance, and integration. Once I embraced my identity as an openly gay man, I felt a strong desire for all aspects of my life to be equally represented. I am a son, a gay man, a teacher, and a Christian. And in all of those roles, I am a gay man. I don't want to have to parcel out who I am at any given moment. I am a composite of many things, and I believe we must love our full selves, embracing all aspects of our identities. We must also extend that love and acceptance to others, recognizing and celebrating their full selves. It is essential for building a world where everyone feels seen, valued, and loved for who they truly are.